All right, Shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shemi El by Shema Karkadash, the honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, and the women and children who follow. So I know there's a lot going on in the world right now, mainly the pandemic with the coronavirus. So a lot of other things have been, kind of put to the back seat or pushed back, or they aren't actually in the forefront of the news. But trust and believe, with everything going on, this World War III is still brewing. A lot of things that we have been speaking on before, a lot of those relationships are still um, on bad terms, should I say. All right, the U.S. and Russia are still on bad terms. U.S. and China is still on bad terms. The U.S. and Iran and U.S. and North Korea all still on bad terms. Iran and Russia still on good terms, still allies. Same with China and those two nations. So, like I said, with everything going on with the coronavirus or COVID-19, these things still exist. And I just wanted to, get this article that I found today, which is showing that. This is from express.co.uk. It says World War III. Donald Trump shocks by planning nuclear weapons tests. All right, which you'll see here in the article it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal. It says Donald Trump's administration has discussed conducting the U.S. first nuclear weapons test in nearly 30 years. Okay, so that's why it's a big deal, because it hadn't been done in almost 30 years. I'm 34. Okay, and I don't remember the last one. Why? Because I was like 4 when it happened, in the late 80s. Okay, so it says at a meeting in the White House on May 15th, national security officials debated whether the first test explosion since 1992. Okay, 92. Okay, well, I guess I was maybe 6 or 7 at the time. The debated whether the first test explosion since 1992 would pressure Russia and China into signing up for a new arms control agreement. So what they're saying is, all the agreements that they have in place with these two enemy states against the U.S. in order to get them back to the negotiating table. Maybe we just blow something up and show them how strong our nukes are, so maybe they'll want to, kind of scare them into an agreement, which is idiotic. And I'm not gonna jump the gun. This is a really good article. I'm gonna read it all too. We're gonna peel this onion. You know what I mean? According to the Washington Post, a senior official in the Trump administration argued that showing Moscow and Beijing that the U.S. was capable of carrying out a rapid test would be a powerful negotiating tool. And whoever said that's a freaking idiot. The meeting did not end in an agreement to carry out a test, but the idea is very much an ongoing conversation. Says a congressional aide said to The Guardian, there are still some professionals in the room who told them that this is a terrible idea, thank God. Which it is it's a beautiful idea from the standpoint of from us. Because this ain't going to do nothing but get the ball rolling quicker. But from standpoint of, quote, logic, if you really want peace, if that's what you really would want, that would be a terrible way to show it. Sluck you. So it says, The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty banning all nuclear explosions was adopted by the UN in 1996, but has not been ratified by 8 countries, including the US, China, North Korea, Iran, and Israel. So it hasn't been ratified. It hasn't basically um, become become official by these countries. Okay, nuclear testing has effectively ceased worldwide, with the exception of North Korea, because we know North Korea, they always checking to see what they got, how far it can go, how far is it projected to go, how strong is it. They gathering all the intel and information, so when it's time to go, you know, they can be effective. It says, owing to a greater recognition of health and environmental consequences, it says, however, the U.S. has accused Russia and China of testing smaller, low-yield nuclear warheads, claims that both countries deny, which they probably were. It doesn't matter, because, you know, the U.S. is testing something somewhere in the world as well. So, I mean, everybody, it's almost like what the Patriots used to say: if you're not cheating, you're not winning. Or, you know, everybody cheats basically is what I'm getting at. You know, to get ahead. The apparent motive behind the proposal to resume U.S. testing was somehow to add pressure on China. A former official said they discussed underground testing in the context of trying to bring China to the table for the trilateral agreement. Among the professionals in the administration, the idea was dismissed as unworkable and dumb. The National Nuclear Security Administration is definitely not on board, and it seemed like that State Department wasn't on board either. All right, they said it's unworkable and dumb. Yeah, okay, guys. We're gonna go underground, and we're gonna test the bombs underground. How's that sound? Trump, sit your dumb ass down. You know, how I figure it happened. You know, okay, guys. What if we test underground? China is testing underground. It says long-standing arms control structures have been framed. Last week, the U.S. announced that it would withdraw from the Open Skies Treaty, a pact designated to reduce the chances of an accidental war by allowing countries to make reconnaissance flights over other states at short notice. It says the U.S. accused Russia of violating the agreement. All right, so basically, you were able to, at the last minute, you know, when you when different countries are flying their planes, you can go by a country and give them notice at the last minute. Say, hey, we're going to enter your airspace for a little bit, just to let you know, and you know we'll be out your hair. But they're going to pull back from that. Why? Because they don't want, you know, Russia flying over their stuff. Yeah, and Russia probably don't want them flying over their stuff either. You know, it's a two-way street. But they're buckling down for war. Nobody's trying to give up secrets. Nobody's trying to give up positions. You know, everybody's jockeying for position. Everybody's setting up their missile defense system. Everybody's getting that warlike mindset, except for the people here, because number one, you know, coronavirus is going on, so their minds is totally off somewhere else. But two, they wasn't checking for it no ways, because all of the distractions that we have in this place, Netflix and you know, Bad Girls Club or whatever, hoes out of Hollywood, or you know, new hip hop hoes in Atlanta, whatever, you know, shows y'all watching, all of that stuff, you know, is a distraction. All right, what new Jordans are coming out? It's a distraction. Nobody's got their eyes on what's actually going on in this world. besides the so-called pandemic. And they're not even doing that right, but that's another story. Okay, so because this is where it actually is really good right here. It says the last major arms control treaty left standing is the 2010 New START agreement, limiting U.S. and Russian deployment in strategic warheads. It says and is due to expire in February next year, but the Trump administration has said it does not want to extend it without bringing China into arms control negotiations. And good luck to have that happen, especially if you do a nuclear test and just piss them off. But we gonna get this. Here we go. So this is the New START Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. It's a nuclear arms reduction treaty between the United States and the Russian Federation with the formal name Measures for the Further Reduction and Limitation of Strategic Offensive Arms. It was signed on April 8th of 2010 in Prague, and after the ratification, so this was actually ratified, so it's actual law. All right, it says entered into a force on the 5th of February 2011, and expected to last at least until 2021, until next year. Okay, so what is this saying? Okay, in layman's terms. I'm gonna jump down. It says the treaty calls for halving, okay, cutting in half, the number of strategic nuclear missile launchers. A new inspection and verification regime will be established, replacing the SORT mechanism. It does not limit the number of operationally inactive nuclear warheads stockpiled by Russia and the United States, a number in the high thousands. All right, so what it does, it limits the number of nuclear missile launchers. So what it's saying is, it's okay, you can have as many, or at least this doesn't limit the number of operationally inactive nuclear warheads, but it does limit the number of nuclear missile launchers that you can have. Okay, because if you got 1,000,000 nukes, but you only got 7 launchers, you can only launch, 7 at a time. With this running out, you can create as many as you want that can launch as many as you want at one time and have it be effective. Which is why I'm going to get this scripture right now. Slakia. Revelation chapter 9 verse 14, it says, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loose, which prepare for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. Okay? So there's a set time that all this is supposed to kick off. And if you can picture in your head like a stopwatch counting down, this countdown is on. And we're coming near to it. This is a prophecy that's going to happen. It says, for to slay the third part of men. There's 3 kinds of men. Okay, you got sons of the righteous, sons of the wicked, and sons of men. Okay? Of course, the sons of the righteous are the Israelites. The sons of the wicked are the Edomites. And everybody else is pretty much the sons of men. So it's going to slay the third part of men, 1/3. So 1 out of the 3. What's that 1 out of the 3? It's talking about the wicked. Okay, the so-called white man. For edification factors. That's who is meant to destroy. It says, and the number of the armies of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them, 200,000, which is 200 million missiles. how do you get 200 million missiles? That's a big number. Well, we just seen that they're not limiting the number of warheads, and now they're and starting next year, you can ramp up. You can actually ramp up and create more nuclear missile launchers. Whether you want to do it out of a plane, a boat, uh, from land, it doesn't matter. Starting next year, it's free game, and that's how you can get that many 200 million missiles being shot in the air, or warheads, should I say, being shot, coming from coast to coast, or one side of the globe to the other, from the east to the west and the west to the east. This is how you get there. This is a prime example of how you get there, showing you that the scriptures are speaking and not lying. Alright? This is a very exciting time to be in. So I'm going to go back to the article. It's actually a little bit more that I wanted to dive into. It says, Beatrice Finn of the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons said that the U.S. nuclear test could plunge us back into a new Cold War. No, it wouldn't be a new Cold War. It would be the actual World War III. Because the Cold War was a de facto, like, covert World War III, where everybody was just, armed to the teeth and just waiting on somebody to move, but nobody would move. At this time, if they do it, that person's gonna move, okay? And that person moving is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and he's gonna force this conflict between the two, and judgments are gonna be made. Mainly here in Babylon, people are gonna die. Okay, the majority of these people here in America are gonna die with this nuclear holocaust that's coming to America. Slakia. Hans Christensen, director of the Nuclear Information Project at the Federation of American Scientists, also said, I've heard officials speculate the U.S. might have to test if confidence in the stockpile eroded, but never that it could be used to coerce anyone into negotiations. So if they thought that, this bomb's kind of old, I don't know if it'll actually explode or not, maybe we should test it. He thought that might be a possibility, but never, well, we need to make a new nuclear agreement. How about we just test it just to show them we ain't playing and this is what we got up our sleeve. This is a big bad mama jamma. And what did he say about that? He says, that's completely nuts. He said they must be getting desperate. Instead, what it certainly would do is push China and all the other states, all the other nuclear armed states, to test as well. Which is what I was saying earlier. You're just going to cause a big pissing match. Everybody's going to show you, oh, okay, that's what you got? You can blow up that? Well, look at this. Hold my beer. You can blow up this, I can blow up that. And you don't want Russia to get involved, because Russia already came out and said, look, we have a bomb that can blow up something the size of Texas or France. How the fuck do you test for that? How do you know you can blow up the state of Texas or the country of France? You have to have some kind of testing or some kind of scaling agent to let you know that, hey, if we unleash this much pounds worth of TNT or whatever it is they're using, then it's gonna cause a reaction X meaning thousand square miles. However big Texas or France is, because Texas is actually freaking big. Alright? Relatively the size of most countries, because the United States as a whole is above average size-wise as far as country size goes. You got some really big countries in this world, but which that's a whole, don't get me started on that. But just for edification's sake, that's a pretty wide area. So for them to have the knowledge that they can blow up that big a size of area, that requires some pretty complex math, or they know, from doing some kind of overt, or should I say covert testing, that so if we scale it up to this, or we do a small one, and we scale it up, we can just we can blow up something XYZ size. So I believe that's really it that I wanted to get. But like I said, man, it's a pretty good article. We come into the times. We're definitely coming into these times, and the scriptures are speaking. It clearly showed you how those 200 million missiles is plausible. Can't refute it. With that being said, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Makar Kadash, the bottoms of the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, and the women and children who follow. Shalom.